Alrighty, this is the video replay analysis for week 5, Pantless versus Nick. We'll end up breaking these videos into the smaller chunks since I think more people are watching their segments if they're digestible bits. So this will be just draft and P5. Alrighty, let's actually run through a little bit here and see what we end up with. You guys got your Underlord, that's great. Ogre, good strong laner. You lose Witch Doctor and Sven, interesting. Okay, not really sure what the bans were this week. Wasn't paying attention to the scouting. Shadow Demon's an interesting pick. I like it. Axe doesn't feel great here. Arc Warden does feel good. Guess and a Slark. Okay. Alright, so you guys end up with Underlord, Ogre, Shadow Demon, Arc, Ursa, Lich. Oh, let's actually go back just a smidge so I can see the bands. And then Lich, Spectre, Death Prophet, Axe, Clock. Okay. I am not that impressed by their draft. So the game here looks pretty straightforward, and I think I remember you guys talking in voice. You were talking about how the Arc was going to be the primary farmer, and the Ursa was going to be sort of a mid-game tempo fighting carry, which is good. That looks okay here. Ursa into the Spectre and Axe is both fine. Death Prophet's going to be a little harder kite, depending on how good the Clockwork is. That's going to be a lot of kite. And then Lich is just basically to protect the Spectre's lane. This doesn't seem so bad. We're going to run forward here real quick and actually see what the AI predicts. I think you guys have a pretty strong advantage here. A couple minutes in the lanes. Okay. Let's see what Strat says. Calculator. Alright, 64% chance to win overall. That's good looking. So, nice statistic right there. You guys have a 98% chance to win early game, and it tapers off to basically 50-50 late. Really wish the laning matchups would kick in. This is a weird stat. Hansen's 6-month Arc Warden win rate is 29%. So that seems really weird. Only winning 29% of his games over 6 months. Something sounds wrong there. Hansen's Arc Warden is better than that. So that must be pulling from something weird. Lane-wise, looks like you're doing Underlord, Shadow Demon, Spectre, Lich. This should be a huge advantage for Radiant. So that lane should go towards Underlord massively. Spectre's a weak laner, and Lich doesn't make up nearly enough to win this fight. And depending on how much the Shadow Demon keeps the Lich out of lane, that could work out really well. Arc Warden, Death Prophet. I feel like Arc Warden has the advantage there, especially because it's Hansen's. Not sure how good Nick's Death Prophet is, but we'll see. Ursa, Ogre, Axe, Clock. If the Clock pulls the P5 away from the lane, like they ended up doing last week, not they as in this team, but your opponent, then this lane could be okay for the Axe. But if the Ogre keeps the Clock in lane and they keep it 2v2, they should be very heavily Ogre favored. So I think you guys have 2 winning lanes here, and probably 3. So yeah, this all sounds about right. I don't think you need to change any of these picks. I don't have anything in mind for what else you could have brought in as your carry here is Ursa, but Ursa feels like a good choice. Alright, so let's drop that away, and then go ahead and rewind to the beginning of the game and watch the watch the P5 here. Oops, still 16 speed. Let's try that again. Did see that ward placement. I'm not thrilled about that. It looked like you missed the box and didn't block the camp which was one of the recommendations from last week, which actually I think helped you a lot in the second game. You ended up blocking the camp, and it made a big difference. Alright, so one of each ward, 2 sets of tangos, shared with mid, of course, 2 mangoes, 3 clarities. Not digging the clarities. So Axe and Clockwork will both have a ranged ability to pop this. Axe will give you Battle Hunger, and Clockwork will pop a Flare on you. Clockwork's probably not going to get Flare till 4. So that means, if you use up all 3 clarities before level 4, that's fine. But I don't think you're going to. I think you're going to have clarities before, or you're going to still have clarities at that point. I don't think you're going to be kicking your man out that fast. So you really need to block the hard camp with this observer ward. So the box is right here. The observer ward needs to go right here in this spot. There's no other correct answer right now. Okay, so you put it way outside, and the problem with this is you guys aren't winning the lane enough to be confident for that. So the reason why you want to put it out here and not block this camp is so that you could pull this camp diagonally to the bottom and the right. Or pull this camp in a connecting pole with the single camp if the small camp is not stacked at all. It's only a single. I don't think you guys are going to end up doing that, and the clock should be able to get some pulls off on you. Okay, so I really don't like that. So you ended up not blocking the hard camp here with the observer, and you put it too far. You could have put the observer right there blocked, and now you've spent your sentry to block the camp. Rather than using it to de-ward the Clockwork's observer ward. Because I actually remember in game you see the clock run out over here, and so the observer is over here blocking your small camp. And by throwing your sentry down early over in this spot, you are not going to get it, and you're going to miss your small camp. So that's a huge mistake. You shouldn't have done that. This observer should be on this corner. This sentry should still be in your pocket. Going up to fight for the runes is excellent. Don't cast Ignite, you see both. Okay, you see both, cast Ignite. Okay, so you took too long. With Ignite, it always goes to 2 enemies, and since there's no creep wave, in the creep wave, it has a chance to bounce to one of the enemies. But when it's just 2 heroes, Ignite will always go for both heroes. So as soon as you see the 2 of them come out of the fog of war, you need to cast that Ignite immediately to slow them down, get them, basically as they're running into the room from these 2 directions, you want to slow them down so that rather than meeting here on the room, they're still out here somewhere and out here somewhere, and they haven't quite got there in time. So this Ignite is a little bit too slow. And you also need to get in right now and share the damage from the battery assault with the Ursa, because if Ursa eats all the battery assault damage, then that's a huge misplay. Alright, so Ursa's running away. He's not even trying to hit back, which is a mistake. He should be fighting the Clockwork right now. Ursa needs to man up. He's got, his Fury swipes, and he's already got what looks like 2 procs on each of the enemies, unless those are misplay. So he could have gotten Clockwork down to less than half health. But this Ursa abandoning you is a big fuck up on his part, but it's not his replay right now. Alright, so you're tanking this, but that's okay because that's your job and you have better base health regen than the Ursa anyway, so you eating all these battery assaults isn't the worst thing in the world. You need to turn around and hit though. So now that Ursa has decided to change his mind and come back into the fight because the tiny little bit of battery assault damage all went to you, now you also need to turn around with the Ursa and continue to 2v1 on the clock if he stays. Okay, so he doesn't, which is fine. So you might have only missed like 1 right click there. Eating 1 tango. You probably didn't even need to eat that tango, but it probably looked like the fight was going longer, so that's fine. Don't blame me for that, but now you've got extra health regen that you're not going to get a lot of value out of. Okay, that's the part where I'm talking about. You see the clock is going this way. You know clock is over here somewhere. You know he had an observer ward from his inventory, and now you can check the clock's inventory again, and clock doesn't have an observer ward. So you know that it was somewhere over here, and because your sentry covers this ring, you know that it's basically in this bottom triangle somewhere. So you need to immediately have another sentry flying out to you right now to de-ward the observer that's somewhere in this triangle. Keeping the clock on the side so far isn't a terrible deal. Alright, that clarity was risky. He almost popped it, but okay. Right there. Okay, I was about to say, if Ursa doesn't go for that last hit, you should take it. Interesting. Tried to go for the Ignite. Looks like he just lost vision. So that's a shame. Because you didn't have vision on the clock, the second bounce went to the creep instead of the clockwork. Not the worst thing in the world. You're not going to get that deny. Come back. Okay. Going for the stick early is good. Another clarity. Really not digging that. Yep, good ignite there. That's Kenshin, you're out of range, so didn't go to the axe. I thought you would have been in range. You really want to be going to stack your small camp if you're not going to help the... well, that's really convenient. Got rid of that Valhunger immediately. If you're not going to help the Ursa in lane here. Really, it looks like Ursa's just kind of 1v1ing with the axe. You don't need to be right here right now. And if you were over here on this side, you would have seen that your small camp was blocked, and you would have recognized that at this point because it hasn't spawned in, and you would have at least gotten the sentry on its way now since you don't have it yet. But it looks like you're still going to not have a sentry for quite a long time. All right, you need to go trade. You got full health, and you're just dancing around. There's no. It's nice that you're staying in this area and you're protecting the Ursa, but you've got to get in there and trade. Just kind of dancing this circle, waiting for the clock to get close, is not excellent. Like that range creep right there, you could have had that, and Ursa wouldn't have had to waste his mana from the whatever this jump spell's called. Fuck is his jump spell called? Earth Shock. That's right. But basically, he had to waste Earth Shock to try and last hit the range creep. He didn't even get it. You should have had that. Alright. You want to ignite pretty quickly? Go and use ignite. As the wave is dying right here, you need to just go ahead and nuke that. Your clarity is about to get you past full. Don't sit there and hold that. There you go. Good stuff. And then chase. Bully the axe out of lane. Don't let the axe stay here and farm for free. He's basically getting free 1v1 farm while your clock is off exploring. That's the time for you guys to harass him and go 2v1. Run him down with the Ursa. You've got a slow and a stun, and Ursa has a spell that builds up the more hits he's got. So you really want to get those hits. Like right there, he's diving in, he's trying to get something. You got to be close. Oh, excuse me. So now you're going to check on the small camp. It's been 3 minutes, and you just realize it's not there. So that's late. And you should have immediately added a sentry ward to your quick buy here. Now that you know that. Alright, so now you're dancing around, doing a lot of nothing. There we go. There's a sentry that didn't actually get it. Okay, so that's a shame that you had to spend 2 sentries to get that. And the fact that you had a sentry ward there earlier on that corner of the camp because you were blocking it means you shouldn't have needed to place this one there. That sentry here was only to kill another sentry. You really only needed to place the first one to get the observer. You could have left his sentry in the area as long as you place yours on the far side. Alright, harass out so you then get the range creep deny. Good stuff. That's not great, but alright. Missed a deny there, or a last hit, but you got the deny. Got rid of that Valhunger quickly. You still have full health and 2 tangos. Really get in there and trade. Try and fight the clockwork. You can man fight the clockwork. You have an entire level advantage on him. He doesn't have great base regen. The battery assault isn't that great. He's only got 1 level in battery assault, so it's not even going to do that much damage. You can tank the entire thing and still beat him down for more damage with your ignite and right clicks. Unless you got an armor ring. Did you get an armor ring? No, you went straight boots. Yeah, you should be fighting the clockwork every chance you get. Fantastic spot for you to do that. That's a shame. He was paying attention to the rune timings. You weren't. You could have been there. But this is a nice stack. You can pull that out diagonally next time. I don't know why you ate that mango. I don't think you're close. You need to get in there now. There you go. Yeah, don't stun. Ursa's running away. Nothing to do there. Okay. Yep, pull this one out diagonally. You should be pulling this creep wave out right now. Okay, so that's a mistake. Right now, the creep wave is up here. That's the equilibrium. That creep's going to die in a second. But you could be pulling this. You could have, used the tango or just ran out of the tree. Aggroed that creep wave, pulled it out, and you could have met those right here. And then not only would this wave push down, but those, the double camp here would have gotten in the way. That would have helped kill this creep wave, and it would have held the creep equilibrium right here in sort of this area. But now it's going to push up a little bit, it looks like. Alright, go harass the axe. You're waiting around, okay? Good. Yep, stay on him. Stay on him and harass him. Don't let him get all these last hits for free. Just chase him down. So there's no reason for you to be in this sector. This whole area is Ursa trying to get his last hits. Clock is off doing something, who knows what. You need to hit that axe and then continue to chase him and beat him down up here. And maybe, yeah, he gets a battle hunger on you and you get some damage on you. You have full life, you still got a tango, you're not trading really at all. You can get in the axe's face a little bit. He's not gonna, completely just spin you down and kill you, especially with that level 6. Alright, you going for a pull? I don't think you've pulled a single time this game. Looking around, wondering where Clock is. Clock is missing. See, especially while Clock is missing, this is your chance to harass. If you leave and go do your own thing and leave Ursa in lane, he's going to get his shit pushed in by the enemy offlaner and the enemy support. That's what you also need to turn around and do and try and beat him down. There's no reason to let them, let this opportunity go by. Basically, you're just sitting here leeching XP. Like, you're level 4, Ursa's also level 4. No, Ursa's 5, okay. But still, you're taking a lot of XP from the Ursa that you don't need to be. Aggro that and try and stack it. Might be late. He's both stacking, okay. It's kind of interesting, you guys like crossed each other as you were stacking those camps. I thought one of you might aggro the other's creep wave, but it worked out. Yeah, definitely pull this wave in. This is good. Okay, good pull. That should wipe out a whole wave. And you should stay there and deny and last hit as much as you can. I don't think you need to complete the magic wand. So you always go straight for a fully completed magic wand early. The thing is, you're not getting to 10 charges very often, and so when you would need to get to the 20 charges for the magic wand is much later in the game. You're not building up 20 enemy spells. That's not happening in this laning stage. So really, the stats are nice if you need the space, but I would say get more consumables, get more wards, get that energy booster earlier, and then you can go back for the magic wand afterwards. But getting 20 charges, or the capability for 20 charges that you're not going to fill up on, is wasted. The magic stick gives you 10, and I don't even think you're going to get 10 anytime soon. You'd have to have a really aggressive lane that isn't doing much. You got to ignite. So that self-cast of Bloodlust was a complete waste. I don't know why you stopped to cast this Bloodlust on yourself, but you really needed to run up and ignite the axe as the Arc Warden is coming up, because if he's got a ward there, once Arc Warden crosses kind of into this area of the river, he's given up the fact that he's given away the fact that he's ganking him, and axe suddenly doesn't feel safe and runs away. So you have to use every second to run up and try and slow him. By stopping in place to Bloodlust yourself, you missed your chance to slow him. Good ping, warned your team someone's there. And then you can just go back to helping stack. Yeah, so you danced around that area a little bit too long, and now you're not going to get to stack here. Yeah. If you had not been in this sort of area around here in this camp, you could have stacked the small camp. But overall, Ursa's having a really great game because Clock is roaming very optimistically. It's probably not giving him much. 30 coming out. I'd like to see a salve on you instead of a magic wand. If you had a salve, you could help the Ursa get right back in lane if for some reason the Clock Axe combo does get a good gank. Because if Clock and Axe do execute a correct gank and they get the Axe stuck inside the cogs with a battle call, then Ursa probably drops down to like a third of his health. That was optimistic. That hop wasn't even close. And so if you had a salve, you could make sure that Ursa's not getting bullied out of lane at all. Okay, it's 10 minutes and you're sitting around. So Clock is dancing on this side, but you need to be at the runes. So you're doing a lot of stuff further away from the runes in like the 30 seconds before rune time. You need to be much, much closer. And when it's about 5 seconds away from the rune, you need to be standing on it. Yeah, so you're looking at things that... I don't know why you TP'd for that. That's very weird. A little unfortunate, but okay. Underlord's having a fantastic game somehow. Your team is 5-0, killing it. Nice camp block. Slow Spectre's farm down just a smidge. I like it. You also have an Observer Ward. I want to see you put that Observer Ward in another one of the camps. Doesn't matter which one, but oh, okay, so this is a mistake. So right here, you guys are playing against a Spectre. You're doing the we're going to ward their camp strat. Who put this Observer Ward way out here outside of the box? So the box is like here. This sentry almost definitely blocks it. That's perfect. This Observer Ward sucks. So I don't know if you planted that or can't tell which ward style is yours. Someone planted this. I think it was you. It might have been the 4. But this is terrible. So the tree blocks it. So the enemy team could be jungling this camp right here, and you would have no clue because you place it so close that you can't see over there. So if you place it just a smidge further, you'd actually have vision of that camp. By placing it here, you know, you can't see this camp because this tree is going to grow back. So you're going to have a row of trees here. You won't see that, although that's blocked. You won't see up this way. So that's a waste. If you would put that ward right here instead, that would see people coming up from behind the stairwell. That would see if they're trying to defend the tower or if they're rotating this way to gank the Underlord as he's shoving this tower. Like blocking this camp and putting vision here would have been great. Not blocking any camps and getting half, maybe third vision out of that Observer Ward is not excellent. All right. You have another one in your pocket. I wonder where you put this one. All good choices. Game is starting to feel a little like a stomp already, which is nice. Switch over to net worth. And you are 9th place. Alright, moving up in the world. Really want to see you put this Observer Ward over here to block this camp. That extra Observer Ward to see this would be perfect. You don't really need it on the high tower, and really blocking this would be the best use for it on this side of the map. If you can get it somewhere on this side to block one of these camps, that's actually the best. That requires you to cross over here, and you might be seen. Looks like you'll go for a good kill. Trying to go for the Spectre. That's optimistic. You need to just help your team. Yeah, so you trying to get a solo kill on that Spectre was a way too optimistic. You know, you're not going to solo that Spectre by somehow getting an ignite on him and then stunning him and running up with your self-bloodlust. Like, that's not happening. You needed to have stayed right there and ignite and stunned the clockwork that the Ursa was getting stuck into. Because maybe at that point, if you stun and slow whoever's going on the Ursa can Earth Shock away over the cliff, and then basically you trade your life and you die instead of the Ursa. Letting your carry die while you try to get a solo kill on the Spectre was a huge misplay. This TP out is good. Optimistic, but good. There you go. I don't think you could see any of them either around the trees or on the sides, so it was nice. Clockwork wasn't close enough. Alright, so I'm going to say laning phase is probably over and you guys are in the mid game, so we'll drop this. Move on to the second.